Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 167 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Excellent. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a good week. Lots of fun. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you and go through the same flow you all do with your own shows and broadcasts. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's any topics you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave them in the chat. We'll do our best to get to all of them. We love discussing things with all of you. It makes it lots of fun. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See people tuning in from all over the world. Very cool. I think I saw the Caribbean for maybe the first time. I don't think I've seen the Caribbean islands before.
Yeah.
We've got Hong Kong, Florida, California, all over the place. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows. We also have a snapshot each week of what's going on in the Facebook group. So if you want to stay up to date of like what exactly is happening each week, definitely join there. If you just go to Facebook and type in StreamYard Community, it should pop right up as the official StreamYard Facebook group. But we got Spotlight with Dana and Kelsey, where they feature folks like you, people in the community, and how they're having success with StreamYard. So if you're looking for inspiration, definitely check that out. Or if you'd like to be featured yourself, reach out to Dana at contact@streamyard.com. They'd love to have you on the show. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to get started on YouTube, or you've already started on YouTube. They give really specific, actionable advice on specific channels. Things like, how long should my videos be? How often should I be posting? What does it mean if my viewership's going up or down? Really, really useful stuff. So check that out. We have Enhance Your Live Streaming with Nick Nimmin. Nick's definitely a pro in the live streaming space and video space in general. So you'll want to check that out for specific live streaming tips. We have reviews with Christian and Charles the first and third Saturday at noon PST every month. Fun show where they go live for a couple hours, giving live feedback on different people's live streams. And one thing we've been doing every week, which you probably would have noticed if you've been here for a while, is a fun fact. So we get to know a little bit more about you. You get to know a bit more about us. And this week, I think we had first car. What was your very first car that was like your own car, Dan?
Cool. My first car was a lemon. That's what my first car was. A Mercury Cougar. It's called. It's a 1999 Mercury Cougar. It was fast. It was a lot of fun to drive, but it did not work very well. It didn't follow the stability principle. So I had to replace it pretty soon. But it was a lot of fun to drive in high school. How about you?
Cool. The first car I drove was it wasn't really mine, it was a Jetta. It was a diesel Jetta, which was kind of interesting. Got really good gas mileage. But the first car that was actually like mine was a Toyota Celica was the model. It was kind of funny that it was used, and the person before it had put on like manual like gull-wing Lambo doors, which was really embarrassing. So I'd like they were super heavy too. So whenever I'd leave the car, I'd have to just like barely open the door and slide out, so I wouldn't have to actually like lift up the. It was a fine car, but the doors were annoying.
Cool.
All right, cool. Let's see. We have lots of questions. Steve says, "Is there any interest in saving isolated 1080p video files like you do audio files? I'd happily pay for the extra cloud storage." You want to take that one, Dan?
Cool, for sure. So it's definitely something we are interested in, something we've considered launching. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it could very well be a thing.
Cool. One thing I'd be curious about, Steve, I assume it's for some form of editing is why you want the isolated files, but I'd be curious specifically, like I know you're editing it, but what you're using it for? Like, is it the type of thing where you're doing interviews and you want like a really high quality individual feed of the person, or just because the type of content you're making and what it's for would be cool to know.
Yep.
All right. What else do we have here? RJ says, StreamYard, could you make it so people with disabilities like myself could have a reduced price or a free account? Thanks for the question, RJ. We do have some discounts for nonprofits. We certainly could do more for folks with disabilities. So appreciate the feedback there. We'll definitely consider it. I think we've already chatted in support before, so I think they already have you on email. But yeah, we could consider doing more things there. Therapy Swag says, any way you can create an app for StreamYard tuning in from Texas. Very cool. We're definitely open to it, Therapy. I'd be curious the specific thing you'd like to use an app for, because you can actually access StreamYard from the phone itself just by going to the website. Some reasons I've heard in the past is for maybe deeper compatibility with certain types of microphones and things like that. But I'd be curious what you need it for specifically. Would be good to know.
Yep.
Albert says daylight savings times almost caught me off guard. Greetings, fine people. Yes, it's finally over.
Yeah, it's definitely confusing how it's different all over the world as well.
Yeah, last week when it happened, I think my phone took a second to update. So when I woke up, it had said like the original non-daylight savings time when I was like sort of sleepy, and then I looked back again, and the hour had changed. And I thought I was losing my mind, and time had gone.
Would have been even weirder if it was the fall one and you just gained an hour. What the?
Wow, time traveling. Cool. Anna says, "Can I use StreamYard with Hopin?" Of course, you can use StreamYard with Hopin. There's a direct integration when you actually do a Hopin event that you can access StreamYard from within Hopin itself, and you can also use if you have a StreamYard account outside of Hopin, you can use that as well. And Hopin is a integrated destination. So yes, absolutely. I think I saw a question about hotkeys, but I'm not seeing it now. But that was one of our. I think someone was asking if the hotkey change that we mentioned last week had been released, and that was one of the topics, along with an additional hotkey. So it is live. It is out now. So you can now. There's now hotkeys for switching directly to solo layout. So hopefully a useful change for some of you. You just want to show
demo if that's useful.
Sure, let's just show it really quick.
So I'll solo myself, and then the hotkey is just to swap back and forth between these two layouts very quickly. So it's just this setting, like for any of you are familiar with that layout we have where it shrinks people down. To toggle that setting, we now have a hotkey for it, and as Geige says, that has already been released. So if you're on StreamYard and you go into the settings in the hotkeys section, you'll see the new hotkey there. And then there's another one coming probably in the next couple of days for toggling the name tags. So the names appear in the bottom corner. Sometimes you don't want those on, but sometimes during the show you want to kind of change it, especially if you're doing more advanced things. Hotkeys in general are really for advanced use cases for the most part. So if you do want to be able to change those names throughout the show very easily, that they're going to have a hotkey for that pretty soon. And then more advanced ones, hopefully fairly soon. I know a lot of you want like hotkeys for overlays or things like that. That's also on our list.
Cool. I'm just enjoying reading all the different first cars.
Yeah, there's some cool ones in the chat.
Yeah, I always forget how many there are. Tangerine had a Hyundai stick shift. I also had a stick shift. That was fun. I feel like pretty soon you don't see them very often anymore. They've just disappeared surprisingly fast.
But I agree with her. That's what mine was as well. And it is cool because then, you're kind of forced to learn how to do it. And then just useful if you ever get in a situation. Like I remember working on a job and suddenly you need to drive a stick shift truck or something, and hopefully you know how to do it. Your first car was, right? The Celica? Or no?
Yeah, and my mom's Jetta. They both had sticks.
I actually prefer it. It's a lot of fun.
I prefer it unless you're on like a super steep hill, and then you got to do the whole like emergency brake thing, and it's a little bit scary. And then the person always parks like right up. Yeah.
Agreed.
Cool. Let's see what else we had here. Henry says, "Can you integrate StreamYard with Calendly soon? That would be amazing." We're definitely open to it. Henry, I'd be curious what specific types of integrations would be the most useful. Like I could guess the basic version in terms of like every broadcast you schedule just being part of Calendly, but curious if there's any unique details that we maybe wouldn't guess in terms of like how you want it to work with guests and their reminders and things like that. Let us know. Hey, Tim, nice to see you here. It says, "Hey, Geige and Dan, great to see the StreamYard folks IRL at Social Media Marketing World." Yes, that was a lot of fun. I have a picture from the conference. I'm curious, that was actually another question for tonight. How many of you actually attended and were able to meet some of the StreamYard team in person? Let us know. Where did that picture go? I think we have Carly and Crystal, or Joanne and Crystal at the booth with Carl. I think that's Carly's head in the background, and then Mylon and Trevor from the team. But if you guys were able to check out the booth, let us know. I heard it was a great conference. I know they had a ton of fun meeting some of y'all in person, so that was cool. All right, what else did we have here? Cazador says, "Any plans of allowing 1080 for basic paid accounts and leave 720 on free accounts? You've added a lot more to pro accounts. Paid accounts should be able to stream higher than free accounts. Appreciate the feedback there, Cazador. It's a fair opinion. Always open to changing things, so you never know. Maybe at some point, 1080 will be on the basic plan.
Yep.
Stefan says, hey, Geige and Dan, I've been gearing up for an event and bringing StreamYard into Zoom using Loopback on my MacBook Pro 2021 and Mac Mini, and so far it's been working really well with rehearsals. Thanks for making the great tutorial videos. Awesome, Stefan. Happy to hear that. Be curious, it's an interesting integration, StreamYard into Zoom itself. Are you mostly doing it for like the viewership, like having people watch on Zoom? I'd be curious, but glad it's going well. All right. Stefan says, what is the next exciting feature / update the StreamYard team is working on? Do you have a plan to release a product roadmap? So we have an internal product roadmap. We don't have a public one. There's some really, really exciting stuff coming soon. We do want to make it save it for we're going to have an event that's going to be a lot of fun around it sometime in the next couple months where we release a bunch of stuff. I don't want to give too much away right now. Maybe we'll give some sneak peeks as we get closer, but I think you guys will be, a lot of the stuff that comes up frequently in our conversations here will be addressed. So I think you guys will be really excited.
And then some other interesting things as well. Should be fun in general. But yeah, we try to make it fun by kind of not saying it right until it's ready. Especially for big things, for some of the smaller features, we'll obviously chat about it a little more often. And either way, we're always looking for feedback with the questions we ask.
Absolutely. Danita says, hey guys, quick question. Will you be developing the feature where you can bring a guest on the live, also shares on their news feed too? This is something we're actively exploring, Danita, and testing different things in terms of the UX and how it could work. So we're definitely open to adding it. I'd be curious for you specifically. You mentioned the word share. So is it the type of thing where you do want the guest to actually just share out the post onto their social media channels, or actually stream the feed itself to the social channels? Would be good to know. But both types of that functionality is something we're testing and exploring. All right. We also had a couple other things we wanted to touch on tonight, so we'll get back to questions in a second here. But one of the things we wanted to mention was there was a Chrome update recently that impacted screen share. I assume most of the people that have run into it were able to solve it. But in case not, there was an update involving permissions where you essentially have to re-grant permissions on Chrome. Should be pretty easy to do. You just have to remove them and essentially re-add them. We're looking into if we can make it a bit more seamless, so you don't actually have to do that. But if you ran into that, that's what happened there.
Yep. Yeah, I had some issues across Google Meet and other things as well with camera and mic. I think there was just some permission challenges on Chrome in general recently.
Gary says, which is the best practice for StreamYard by yourself, unlisted YouTube, other options? To practice StreamYard. Yes. For practicing StreamYard, Gary, I think unlisted YouTube is the best option. That's definitely the one I'd recommend. It's really simple. You can essentially test all the aspects in terms of how it looks, whether the comments are working, all of that stuff. So unlisted YouTube is definitely the one I would go with. The other option is a Facebook group is another way where you can go to a private group and just test how it looks there.
Secret group even. So private, I think, is no one can join unless you invite them. Is that the...
Yeah, private,
you can't even discover it.
Yeah, that's true. So secret might be the best.
But yeah, either one.
Quillen says, if integrating Calendly, also consider Google Calendar. Yeah, absolutely, Quillen. If we did a Calendly integration, we'd likely try to support all the major calendars, so like Apple, Google, the whole group. All right. See some debates of pro stick versus non-stick. I think probably will be an ongoing one.
Convenience versus fun is the debate for me. I'm sure not everyone thinks of it like that. Depends how into driving you are too. If you're super into doing all kinds of crazy things.
Affinity said, or sorry, go ahead, Nat.
Just my favorite is always stick shift. But
I'll be sad if they go away entirely.
I know.
It'll always be an option.
I know. It's a rare breed already.
Affinity says, hey guys, on the giveaway tool, I've done 10 giveaways. There's an average of 8 people each drawing. The same person won 5 times. Your thoughts? So it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. The one thing that could increase someone's odds is not every single destination is supported, right? Dan, I guess if they're comment shows, it's supported though.
Honestly, I think it's physically possible for that to happen 5 out of 8 times. So I think it was just a statistics thing. Hopefully, it shouldn't happen again. But yeah, we don't do anything weird to like bias people that have already won or anything like that. So
yeah, probably just the odds affinity.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, maybe let us know next week if you get it again. Like, if we do another one, because that is a bit weird. But
Josh says, are there any updates on the ability to pause and restart during a record-only broadcast? I don't have any new updates for you, Josh, other than it is something that has come up a lot. I think I don't know if I saw her here tonight, but it's definitely a popular. I think Creative Lady mentions it very frequently. It's definitely on top of our minds, and it's something we're exploring various ways of how to facilitate that. So stay tuned. Steven says, any chance of a hotkey for overlay and camera together? So I'm assuming, Steven, you mean like essentially the ability to have a hotkey where you change the overlay and then also a layout? Is that how you interpret it?
We're thinking about stuff like that in general. So if we're understanding the question correctly, I would say yes.
Cool. All right. Gus says, Telegram just launched streaming. Will you add Telegram platform? That's really cool. I didn't know Telegram had launched the streaming capability. If they have an API for it, it's definitely something we're open to. Sounds cool. All right, what else did we have here? Thanks for the follow-up, Stephen. Yes, is to have the attendees in Zoom watching the design branded look. Good to know. That's awesome.
Cool.
Sorry, Stefan. Cazador says, giveaway tool, any way to increase the time to show more people participating in the draw, where it shows the pics of participating? Right now, there's not very much configuration in it, Cazador, so it's kind of just set. We are open to adding more sort of functionality around it. One thing we've even considered is having it more integrated into the studio itself. So at some point, we might have, a timer, or not a timer, but an option to set the time or something like that.
Yep. And just to confirm, I'm actually curious, Geige, if you're understanding this similar as me. Is that just, you think, to do a longer draw so that it ultimately flashes more names before it actually draws?
That was my understanding.
Okay, yeah, got it. And if that's not correct, please let us know.
Danita, thanks for the clarification. When they use the link to come on your live, it automatically shares in their newsfeed. So that does sound like share functionality. So yeah, something we're open to. Danita, the other one that's come up a few times is people wanting to actually have their guest stream it out rather than just sharing it. And we're looking at both.
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons of each. Like the streaming one, it's a different link. So it's not driving them back to the same broadcast, but maybe get more total views. Yeah, exploring both.
Sketches and Scrub says, question, does watch time from the watches on the live stream count towards YPP/4K hours if the video is public or only the views from after it is published? So I'm assuming, Sketches, maybe you're talking about something specifically within like the YouTube platform, because right now StreamYard doesn't actually, we don't actually have analytics for the watch time. We just have like you can see the live viewer count while you're live, but there's not much after the fact. We're open to adding more to that, and we're exploring it. In terms of like the YouTube question of watch hours, I don't actually know. You might have to look at the YouTube docs for that. You don't happen to know that, do you, Dan?
I don't. No.
Adam's Exploit says, I prefer Chrome, but I've used Edge to be able to use my wired earbuds in StreamYard. Any idea why that is, or if you can correct it?
Interesting.
You have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
That's a weird one. Yeah. So technically, they're both built on the same underlying Chromium engine, assuming you're on the newest version of Edge or even like a relatively new version of Edge, the one with like the kind of green-ish looking logo. Yeah, I don't know why that would happen. In theory, it should be picked up in both. I assume you just mean it's literally not even showing up as an audio output device, like a speaker. Yeah, I don't know. That is kind of bizarre. I'd be curious, like incognito, does it work fine? Maybe you have an extension that's removing it or something, or just reinstalling Chrome even might fix it, because technically under the hood they're very, very similar browsers.
Cool. And if you haven't already, Adam, StreamYard, if you just go to StreamYard.com/contact, they can walk through some of the basic steps with you to see what might be going on.
Yep.
Let's see what else we had here. Anna says, do you have any tutorial for Hopin/StreamYard? If you go to the Hopin website, AnnaHopin.com, I believe their support docs have quite a bit of information, along with the StreamYard docs themselves. If you go to StreamYard.com/contact, and the chat at the bottom also has a support link that walks through the various ways you can use them together.
Yep.
All right, what else did we have here? Talk with Tori says, hey guys, will we be able to private chat guests individually with multiple guests? You want to take that one, Dan?
Private chat individually with multiple guests. So I'm picturing like there's 10 people in the studio and you want to DM 3 of them, kind of thing. If that's the case, let me know. We're interested in exploring all kinds of things around the private messaging in the studio, but yeah, maybe let us know if that's exactly what you're thinking. Or if you'd want like separate conversations with each person, but just one-on-one is fine. And also, I guess just to confirm, I assume you're talking private chat as in typing and not talking or something, but let me know if that is the case.
Cool. Tom says, any plans to make fade-in/out transitions for overlays and backgrounds? We are looking into more options for that type of functionality. Tom, whether it's for moving to more options when it's for moving from one layout to another. Right now, we obviously have the motion effect, but more options in general, whether it's an overlay, a background, or a different layout. We are exploring that. Verona says, I did a pre-recorded and didn't know it needed to be an hour. Was that written somewhere? Now I'm stuck with the recording. Pre-recorded streams don't have to be an hour, right, Dan?
No, it's just there's limits in the length, but as long as it's less than that, it should be fine. So if now I'm stuck with the recording. So maybe you just meant your video is longer than an hour?
Oh, I see. Because you can only upload for up to 1 hour on the basic plan. Maybe let us know, Verona. We can do our best. Zeb says, can you add multiple microphones on StreamYard? So there's a few options for that one, Zev. If you just need to switch between them, yes, you can just in the settings switch between one microphone or another. The other way would be to join in as a guest, which is possibly not ideal depending on what you're trying to do. The best option as of now, or 2 equal options as of now, would be to either have a hardware device where you connect the different microphones into that hardware audio mixer and connect that to StreamYard as the single source, or essentially do the same thing virtually. You can use something like Loopback and connect different microphones into that virtual audio device and bring that into to StreamYard. All right, should we go ahead and do the giveaway for tonight, Dan?
Let's do it.
All right, I think lots of you are already familiar given how many hashtag the yards I see, but we do a giveaway every stream. Tonight we'll be giving away that same type of hoodie that Dan has on and that pillow that he has in the background there. To be eligible to win, you just have to type in hashtag the yard on any platform you're on. It only counts once, so if you do it a billion times, it only uses one, but we appreciate the enthusiasm. We'll give you a minute or so here to get these in and answer a few more questions. Thanks for the clarification, Danita. Sounds like both sharing and streaming are interesting, but streaming is more preferable.
Cool.
Teresa says, is there an update as to having a better way to search for past lives so that we don't have to scroll down to find a past broadcast and rebroadcast it? That's a great point, Teresa. There's no update and there is not a search functionality now. You just have to scroll, unfortunately. Definitely something we should have, though. We're open to adding it and we'll likely have that functionality in the future. Any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
No, same thing as you. I think eventually we should have something like that.
Cool. Dave says, any update on Facebook comments made pre-broadcast showing up in the comments section? I believe that's something Facebook was working to address, right, Dan?
Long term, they are planning to address that. I don't know what exactly it's going to look like yet, but eventually they are planning to address that. So just for anyone who's not sure what Dave's referring to, right now, and this used to work in the past, but just with some changes Facebook made a little over a year ago, it stopped working, where if a viewer comments on Facebook 5 minutes before you start, it won't show up on StreamYard. And it's just because if you notice on Facebook, there's not really like a live stream area until you actually go live. So there's a scheduled post with a comment section, but those are not the same as the live comments. So hoping that changes fairly soon. I know Facebook is working on kind of revamping some of that stuff at some point.
Cool. All right, should we go ahead and roll the giveaway, Dan?
Cool, let's do it. Good luck, everyone.
Simon, thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and congrats. If you email contact@streamyard.com, our team can work with you to get your details and size and your brand new pillow and StreamYard sweater shipped. Congrats again, and yeah, thanks again for watching. Great to have you here.
Cool, congrats.
All right, we should have time for a couple more questions here. Let's see what else we had. Appreciate that, Gus. Glad that you're enjoying the platform. Awesome, Matt. Glad that you were able to catch us live. It's nice to have you here. Steven says the StreamYard team should come to India. # the yard. Maybe someday. We don't actually. There's no one directly on the StreamYard team in India today, is there, Dan?
Correct. Yeah.
Maybe at some point in the future, though. That was one actually question we had. There's not too much time to answer it, but we can go back and check the comments in the replay. Was where did I have it? We used to have I can't remember the title of it, Meet the Ducks or something.
Coffee with the Ducks.
Coffee with the Ducks, that was it. Where folks could meet more people behind the scenes on the team. We had a ton of shows. So we basically had fewer shows, but we were curious if you guys would be interested in having maybe occasionally StreamYard employees like an engineer or a designer on some of these town halls to ask them questions or have them talk about some of the stuff they're working on. If so, awesome. If not, no worries. Just let us know. We're just curious if that'd be interesting content for y'all.
Cool.
Champrick says, how to become product ambassador for StreamYard. Appreciate you wanting to be an ambassador, Champrix. That's awesome. The most basic way right now is we have every account has a referral link. So if you just go to the top right, there's something that says referrals, and that referral link allows you to invite people and get essentially free credit to use StreamYard. So you can use StreamYard for free, and the person you refer also gets some credit. We are looking to invest more in that program and add more things around it. So stay tuned on that. Maybe we'll have some more functionality beyond just the referral links at some point. All right. Still lots of questions. Hopefully we can get to them on the next town hall. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, all of you. It's always a pleasure, and it's so much fun answering your questions. This was episode 167 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We'll see you guys next week at the same time.
Awesome. See you next week, everyone.